Hi guys, welcome to an episode of the GRAPPLERS Academy. Today we're reviewing some rolling footage between myself and Bonn. Started off with like his collar tie is really strong in that butterfly guard, just shuts down my hips from getting underneath him, which is why I started to attack this arm drag here. But that whizzer you threw in there basically shut down the movement and got me to square back up.
Yeah, this is a position that we end up finding ourselves in quite often, isn't it? Usually we'll start off around like this with you kind of in an open guard and me coming in as a bit of a passing option unless we start from standing. So we're kind of quite familiar with this, and here you go straight away to that kind of like dump truck rolling position that you get into where you've got good secure grip on my hips. So I'm aware of that straight away and kind of pop up because I don't want any of that. But you basically get me straight away with a good leg entanglement there, and I'm not bothered about resisting. So I'm kind of having a bit of a playful, fun rounds with these. So just letting it go where it goes. But lovely sweep there, and then straight into attacking for the pass. I don't want any of that, and I try and get a bit of an inverted grip on the near leg. I've not really got a lot here because of the way that you've got your pressure down. It's hard for me to get an inversion and get in underneath you and start maybe attacking for the back or whatever. And I don't know whether you think I've got more than I have at this point, or whether you're looking for that specifically there, which is the technique that we've gone through today on the video. Called it your crowbar passing technique.
Crowbar passing. Yeah, I think I did feel like you had a lot more there, which is why I was quite far out as well, and I was using one of my hands to control your hips. So I was trying to basically keep your hips as far away from my legs so you couldn't invert as easily. And I'd say this is like you do a good job here of basically thwarting that back attack and stopping from getting hooked. So I kind of abandoned ship on that quite quickly.
Try and get the knee across the stomach there quite quickly, so I've got a frame with the leg. Yeah. And then that gives me the opportunity to kind of do that wrestling up from the bottom there, making my manoeuvre coming backwards as you're coming in and trying to get the snap down and come into the front headlock.
Yeah. Lovely that. And you shut down my sit through attempt there as well, like pretty swiftly.
Not moving too badly for a cripple. No.
I think when you get this 2-on-1 grip in a minute, like I think this is where I try and use this to lower your head.
Yeah, so 2-on-1 grip's great.
Yeah.
But what it also has done is attached me to you.
Yeah.
So wherever you go, I've got to go. So you're I've got one arm, I've not got an arm defending my neck. You use my 2-on-1 grip to drag me down and then throw in that front headlock position from the top.
A few swift knees to the top of the head.
Yeah, some revenge knees in there. It's all right. I got in with a couple of knees earlier on in one of the previous rounds, so it's all good.
Yeah, at the moment I'm just trying to free my arm, because if you watch what Bond's doing with my wrist now, he's keeping hold of that, and as I start trying to travel around to the hips shortly, he keeps my arm in place, which shortens the distance that I can travel to get around to the back of his hips and attempt to take his back, and it essentially shuts down a lot of my movement and my ability to get around his body, because he's using his head to keep my shoulder at bay.
Remember, I've still got a 2-on-1 grip here, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you throw it over your head in a minute. Well, I think I had another point where I realised the back attempt was not going to work for me, so I give up on that quite quickly to take some sort of 3/4 mount.
So I'm still just holding on to that 2-on-1 grip there. I know the only hand that you can get me with is your left hand, your top hand. And if you do that, you're going to go straight off balance.
Yeah. And now I'm just sort of just trying to be patient here now, trying to find an opening to, like found there, to sort of get to a better position where I can free my leg up.
And again, this is another good example of you setting up this crowbar idea with passing. But unlike what we talked about before in the video, that you talked before, we've had a second attempt at recording this. The first attempt didn't work for the audio, but you were talking about the knee position on the hip before.
Like I'm trying to get my knee into your hips, but I'm also trying to keep your thigh pinched between my legs. But you can see the difference in the angle of your hips. Like when I've got my knee in the hips and I've turned you over, your hips are facing me. Where especially here as well, when you're flat, you've got a bit more movement and a bit more freedom to keep yourself where you want to be.
So quite difficult for me at the moment to do anything too explosive off my back, so I'm kind of just waiting for space. But the pressure on the top's amazing, and there was very little space for me to try and work a way out anyway, which kind of leads me into what ends up happening next anyway. I'm just trying to look for a space and to be able to use that 2-on-1 control or frame against the hips to come up and start turtling out. And Si's doing a beautiful job of showing the example there of how to get the crowbar pass and step back into from a half guard into a full side control, still with lots of pressure. Nowhere for me to go from underneath there, and then it's just the slow closing of the function here, isn't it?
Well, that's it, because I had to, like, once you got flat, what you can't see in the camera is I'm using my left elbow to bring his elbow across his head, to actually get into the dart position, where Bonn does a great counter here to go into turtle. Well, I use the sort of, again, another foot form of a crowbar to turn him over. And what I've got here now is, because I basically have not got long enough arms to get a full bicep dart, I go below the elbow and I go into the lower lat, and it's just the same mechanics to finish there with the elbow pinch, chest pressure down and bicep squeeze to get the finish for that positioning.
Yeah, really nice pressure from the top on that. It was a tight finish. There was a second there where you tried to wrap my leg up as well.
Yeah.
For a bit of a tighter squeeze, and then you decided to let go in it. But you can, if you're not careful, get caught out in a leg entanglement from that position, hooking the top leg. We've got plenty of videos on the channel on how to finish darters.
Oh yeah.
I know we've talked about that many times and many of those side control positions. So good to see them in examples of practice there. If you want to see any more of these videos where either you just see the rolling footage or whether you want us to do some commentary over the top of them, again, let us know in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe, because we'll be putting up some more videos of rolling footage anyway, along with the technique videos that we've already got out. Anything else that you want us to look at or review in terms of technique or match footage, let us know. We may even consider commenting over other people's rolling footage.
Yeah, definitely send them over.
If it gets to that point as well. But otherwise, coached by Si, bona fide PT, everything else at the Grapplers Academy, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.